From the intriguing and mysterious plot, the soundtrack oozing with 80s bangers, and Winona Ryder's incredible turn as Joyce Byers, there's a lot to love about the new Netflix original series, Stranger Things. For my money, it does an excellent job of referencing cult 80s sci-fi without it becoming completely overbearing. If you liked Stranger Things and are looking for something with a similar flavor, here's a few of its key influences. These are all well worth checking out if you haven't seen or read them already. But if you haven't seen the show, then don't worry, spoilers are going to be kept to an absolute minimum because you seriously need to delve into that mystery as fresh as possible. Let's kick off with a fairly obvious one, as the show is basically a giant homage to Stephen King's work, even down to the logo. So naturally, Steve is absolutely loving it. King excels in telling stories about the ordinary meeting the extraordinary, usually involving small-town locals coming up against improbable and surreal situations, not unlike the citizens of Hawkins, Indiana, who get embroiled in a missing child case, come up against psychic powers, a sinister government agency, and some kind of world-ending evil. But with so many King books to read, which of his novels have influenced Stranger Things the most? Well, the misfit bullied kids who seem to be targeted by a powerful otherworldly enemy is taken right out of it. Yes, this is the one with the terrifying clown monster, but it's also a story about friendship and adorable kids working together to take on the ultimate evil. Stranger Things really kicks off when some dark entity escapes from the Hawkins National Laboratory and out into the town. This motif has been explored in multiple King novels, such as The Stand, which in my opinion is his magnum opus. It's where the US Army scientists create a weaponized strain of flu, only to be completely unprepared for when it inevitably escapes, destroying something like 99% of the world's population. The character of Elle in the show is a direct parallel to Charlie McGee from the novel Firestarter. Both are young girls with unnatural psychic powers. But where Elle lived a life of captivity and was experimented upon at the Hawkins National Lab, Charlie's powers were a result of government experimentation on her parents. Her family ends up on the run from a government agency known as the Shop, who are determined to track Charlie down to use her powers as a weapon, just like Elle. You could also compare Elle to Carrie White from King's first novel, Carrie, which also follows a young girl as she struggles to come to terms with her new psychic powers. All the Stephen King books I just talked about have film adaptations of varying degrees of quality. I'd maybe give Firestarter and the 2013 Carrie remake a miss, but there are other movies that have really inspired Stranger Things. There's a lot of Spielberg in there, like E.T. the Extraterrestrial, following kids who befriend a strange and mysterious alien while trying to keep it hidden from grown-ups and, of course, the government, who just want to run experiments on it. Whereas in the show, it's Mike and his friends trying to keep Elle safe. There's also Close Encounters of the Third Kind. An average guy has a close encounter, but no one believes him. Very similar to how no one believes all the weird stuff that Joyce and Hopper discover and think that they've gone a little bit crazy instead. And if you like the motif of nerdy kids banding together to solve crimes and uncover mysteries and go on adventures together, there is of course The Goonies and Stand By Me. The Goonies features loads of typical 80s character stereotypes: the gang of misfit kids, the outcast older brother, the sensible salt of the earth best friend, all of who we can see in some form or another in Stranger Things. In Stand By Me, which is also an adaptation of a Stephen King novella, boy, do the Stranger Things guys love Stephen King. There's a strong friendship group made up of 4 boys who go on one last adventure together to try and find the body of a missing boy. They tell each other stories and jokes and have a special handshake, and are basically the strong friendship group who go through ups and downs together, just like Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and of course Will do. And of course, there's cult TV shows that have a huge influence on Stranger Things, like The Twilight Zone and the short-lived Outer Limits, who are both filled with lingering dread, suspense, and psychological horror.
We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper.
All of which Stranger Things has in spades. Twin Peaks is another. There's plenty of parallels to draw. Special Agent Dale Cooper investigates the murder of homecoming queen Laura Palmer in a small, insular town. Similarly, Chief Hopper gets dragged into a series of mysteries in a small, insular town that all begin with young Will Byers going missing. So there's a few cult inspirations for Stranger Things. I'm sure to have missed some. I mean, there was loads to choose from, so let me know your favorites in the comments below. For more on Stranger Things, make sure you like the video and subscribe to youtube.com/GameSpot, and we will see you next time.